Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack on Productions. We got Jimmy here today profiling his Bulma stall deck. It was a pretty good deck. You didn't bring it this time though, but we meant to profile, we never got a chance to, so let's go ahead and get into it. So Jimmy, I think you had a few words beforehand.
So I want to give a shout out to Toxin Editor Bob over on Reddit for putting this idea out there. He posted a profile, an idea for Bulma stall using the old Earthlings engine. And I really liked it. I decided that I was going to build it, and I changed some things. I made it a little bit more tailored to my playstyle, and it's actually worked out really well. Its worst matchup is Topo Lock. That's why I haven't been able to top with it. But other than that, it's been smoking people. I've been having a lot of fun with it.
I want to cough real quick.
What?
You didn't beat me last week.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, let's get into it though.
Yep. Alright, so we have the Bulma Leader. She gives all Earthlings and Saiyans, red and yellow, all of them gain blocker, which is your main defensive strategy. Activate main, draw one card, awaken at 4 or less.
Oh, I think I was coming in speaker up by accident. Continue though.
Yep. Same thing, permanent on the backside, but instead of activate main, you draw 2. The leader's not much of a threat. It's just 5k, 10k, so you really have to rely on your battle cards to be dealing out a lot of damage, but being able to draw a lot of cards is fantastic right now. So I run the old Earthlings engine. So you have Baba, which searches out the deck, puts a Bandage, Spike, or Son Gohan in the drop, then plays a Bandage from the drop area. Bandage, he's a 1-drop blocker, which all of these gain blocker no matter what, but he's an inherent blocker. When he is KO'd, he plays a Spike, and that's all I run is I go up to the Spike. When Spike's KO'd, he plays the Grandpa Gohan. When he attacks, he gains 9,000, so he's a 15k beater. But I stop at this because I never played the Grandpa Gohan.
I think you played it like one time I saw.
I think one time I played it, and he's a nice 30k blocker or a 30k beater. But I just never seen the use for him outside of that. I just rather play other cards to help me out. I did think about running the Peel-Off engine. I just prefer that in the Peel-Off deck. I think Bulma really likes having the 1-drop, and being able to recur this with a card later on in the deck is really nice. Peel-Off engine's good, but I think it's better in an aggro deck than a stall deck. More 1-drops, some Unison hate. It is self-awakening as well, but most of the time you're just going to let your opponent beat you down. It's great against Unison, double strike, get those markers off. Not much to say about him. He's also a blocker, 1-drop, easy to get out there. One of the MVPs of the deck, Son Goku Nimbus Voyager. So when he attacks, you can KO this card. I think it's placed in the drop area. It's not. Nope. When this card attacks, you can place it in the drop area and then KO one of your opponent's battle cards with 25k or less power. You do run Sin Shenron in this deck, so you can neg down your opponent's battle cards to get rid of them with Nimbus Voyager. For 1 energy, this card's invaluable, and you can easily recur it.
A secret rare then.
What was that?
Neg a secret rare?
Oh yeah, for sure. You can neg it down and then just swing on this for 1 energy, get rid of it. It's a great card. I'm so glad I found that. This kind of runs double duty in the deck. It's kind of a double negate because you negate the attack and then you put a blocker on field. Not much else to say about it. It's a 1-drop. You can recur it. It's good. Not Champa in the draft box or anniversary box. Broly Crown of Retribution, blocker because a leader, and then you also get to rip a card from hand if they have 2 energy open. You're not really aggroing out, so you never really want to hit a topo or whatever. You just want to hit whatever is a threat to you at the moment. Baba. Not much to say about this card. It's just a generically good red card. When you play it, you give an Earthling leader or battle card plus 5k. And then when you combo with it from your battle area, you draw a card, the next something 5k. You can recur it. You can recur it on your opponent's turn using an Android 17 negate, so you can bump your leader up to 15. Not that big of a deal because your leader's already at 10, so it's not that much of a change. It gets your leader into standard territory. But most of the time, you're not going to be comboing out, you're just going to be blocking. And 17, this card is busted. 2-drop, negate, play this card, then you play a one-drop from your drop area. So you can hit Baba, buff your leader. You can hit Nimbus Voyager, so next turn you can neg out one of your opponent's battle cards. You hit Baba, which Baba can go grab bandages. For 2 energy, you basically negate 3 attacks because you negate the attack, blocker, blocker. And then if you have a spike, you get a free spike off the bandages. It's so much value for 2 energy. I absolutely love this card. Topo. Topo.
I mean, self-explanatory.
Bancroft is going to be upset about this card. I did misplay with this card. I learned a lot about this deck. I learned a lot from just that one match that you guys saw on the channel. You can only grab a Unison with a specific cost of 4. I was grabbing Sin Shinron with it. That's my fault. I should have read the actual card and not third-party websites.
So what's our catchphrase?
Read cards, know your plays. Shane Dawson is a pedophile. I still keep the card because it searches out an Earthling, and you can recur it with your 17. But I did give it an actual Unison target. Vegito, Unison of Might. I was so reluctant to put this card in the deck, but now that I did, I think I might bump him up. So his +1 is you draw a card, then you choose a battle card with an entry cost of 2 or less from your hand and play it. You have a lot of cards that are less than 2. So you can play a Baba off of this and play a Bandage. You can buff your leader with Baba. You can play whatever you need. Just put extra blockers on field. The -2 is really, really nice against stuff like Peel Off because it can't play battle cards with skills. That's been invaluable in most matchups. I did lose the game against Peel Off. Bancroft is a very good Peel Off player, and he played around that. But that's besides the point. And then the neg 5, I've only ever done it once, and it really didn't do anything for me. If your opponent has no battle cards in play, you deal 1 damage to them. You don't really have a lot of field clearance without having Sin Shinron out, and you can only have 1 Unison, so that -5 will only come up if you're able to just neg out the field with Shinron, then play him for 5 and put, whatever on him. Speaking of Sin Shinron, I love this Unison. A permanent allows all your red cards to attack in active mode, including your leader card and himself. +1, neg you 2 your opponent's battle cards 15k. Amazing. You can use that with Nimbus Voyager to be able to KO a card easily. And then -2, you rip a 25k power from your opponent's hand. This card is fantastic. I just wish you could search it with Peel Off.
Yeah. It would be nice.
Yeah. I don't like this card. I don't like the art on it. I wish it was literally anything else, but the card effect is incredible. So when one of your Earthlings is removed, you play her, and then you can play a 4 or less Earthling only battle card from your drop area. So you have the Yamcha targets in Yamcha Desert Hyena. He gains 10k. There we go. He gains 10k, so he's a 30k blocker or a 30k beater, whatever. Auto, if your opponent activates a counter during this card's attack, he restands. And then if he KOs a battle card, he gains 10k and triple strike and restands as well. So you use Sin Shinron to be able to attack battle cards in active mode. And then you get the triple strike, swing 40k triple strike at your opponent's lead. This is very, very good for a rare. I was surprised this is not an SR. Speaking of Yamcha SRs, Yamcha 100%. This card has done nothing but stress me out and give me headaches. Because every time I activate main, I burst my secret rare every time, without fail. I played this about 5 or 6 times. Every single time I burst my secret rare. But this has won me the game a lot too, because when you KO a battle card, you deal 2 damage to your opponent, and he's non-negatable, so he's really good. It's another target for Bulma the Bunny Girl. Not much else to say about that package, other than being able to play this Vegeta off of Bulma. I did run this at 2 originally. I cut it down to 1 because I'd rather put other cards into the deck. But this is nice if you have it and you put Bulma out, because you want to get Bulma off the field as quickly as possible because she has unique. So you want to block with her, get her KO'd, play the Vegeta, and then if your opponent decides to remove another one of your Earthling cards, you can play another Bulma from hand and then pick up another Yamcha or whatever. Also, all of your 1-drops are targetable with this, but you really want to get the value off of playing a Yamcha. Next, Wolfang Fist. This card is really good. It negs a battle card 15k during barrier. You play it for free if you have a Unison out. Card's really good. It doesn't negate the attack, unfortunately, but you can either kill out a card or just make it a non-threat. A card that should be a lot better. I did misplay this card as well. I found out about the ruling afterwards. I probably should be up to date on my ruling, saying that I am a judge. But
that's all I needed to hear, man.
Shut up, Bancroft. He's got to loop that and just play it as he sleeps every night.
That's all I needed
It makes
to hear.
him feel better. I do like this card a lot, though, because it comes out for free if you have a Unison in play with 2 or more markers. It does neg 2 cards 15k. The timing's a little weird on it. I wish they would, change that, please, Bandai. But it does put a 15k blocker on field, and you can keep him and have him as a
Did you say blocker? You think of the prideful transformation again? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, sorry.
That's the entire point of this deck, Bancroft.
I'll shut up now. It's your profile.
Super combos. I run 2 Nappa. Nappa, when he combos, he comes into play. He's a red Saiyan, so he becomes a blocker. It's really good. I really, really wanted to like this card more, and I did end up keeping it in the main board, just because when this card is live, it is so good in this deck. So if you and your opponent have to have a total of 8 or less life, so that means either both opponents have to be at 4 or any sort of number that equals 8, which is unfortunate because this card is insane. So when you combo, draw 1, just like any other super combo, but you get to play a 1-drop Earthling from your hand. So you can play a Baba or any of your other cards. You can play the 1-drop is it Earthseer Baba?
Yes.
Yeah. Earthseer Baba buff your leader by 5k, so you gain basically 15k off of 1 card.
Of course, it is during your turn.
Of course, it is during my turn, which giving a 15k attack on Bulma is pretty nice, because
should be normal.
Yeah, it'd be normal. And then you can buff a leader a card by 5k if you decide to play her and activate main. She's also a 1-drop, which is one of the reasons why I kept her, because you can recur her with Android 17 and then have a super combo on field. That's the only reason I don't run 4 Nappa like I did before. I went with a 2-2 split. I might go back to Nappa. I don't know. Nappa is just always live. The Bulma is really good when it is live, though. So this is a interesting pick. So a lot of people see this card and go, why was that card not already in the deck? You span the field. You have like 8 or 9 cards on field at all times and give them all double strike. The issue is they're all little nuggets. They don't really do any damage. Most of them don't even reach 10k with their 5k buff. But what this card does really well is an amazing bluffing tool. I only run 1, so sometimes I'll just charge it and my opponent will go, oh, he has Fearless Pan in the deck, I have to start clearing his board. So now they're a lot more willing to get rid of my Earthlings and cards to be able to proc Bulma the Bunny Girl, because most people don't want to proc that card. They don't want to deal with those Yamchas coming from the drop. I think in our Pilaf match, I had this card in hand. He looked at my card with hand with Sin Shinran and went, oh shit, you have Fearless Pan in it.
I did have the reaction. Thinking back on, I'm like, wait, it didn't matter.
And then the entire rest of the game, he was trying to clear my board. And it worked out perfectly for me until he decided to cheat and win the game.
I didn't cheat, but
you're cheating. I did not lose fair and square to Bancroft. I won't admit it. I have played this card before, and I've won because of it, just because of being able to give, your Yamchas or whatever, your Topos, double strike. Giving the leaders 15k double strike is not bad either, but I've been using it mainly as a bluffing tool. I'll combo it off and just make sure my opponent knows that Fearless Pan is in the deck. They don't know how many there are, but now I'm really, I probably shouldn't have said anything now because everybody at the Scabbard is going to know that I only run one Fearless Pan. They're going to watch the video. Actually, never mind. Nobody watches Attack on
No, we're not at 1,000 or anything.
Unsubscribe. This Goku, he's really good. He's expensive. I've only used him once, and I actually just hardcasted him and cleared the board at 20Ks. He's good. You don't have to have him. I don't think. I think this deck is very modular, so you can take out what you don't have and put in what you do have. But I have him, so I run him. The only reason I only run one is because I only own one, and I refuse to buy more. Exploiting weakness. Good red card. Generically good red card. Counterplay. Wipe your opponent's field. Is it 20k or less?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it negs everything 20k. So yeah, it's good. Plus it busts your leader by 5k, so it makes Bulma normal. And secret rare. So I have a lot of discussions with a lot of people at the shop over which secret rare is better for Bulma. I personally think it's Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Mainly because Armor Reborn requires you to go down to 2 life, and it makes it so telegraphed when I go down to 2 life with this deck because I'll have 8 or 9 blockers on field, and I'm letting your attacks go through to get me down to 2 life. So my opponent always will sit there and go, okay, I'm gonna start hoarding the gates so I don't get him ripped with when he drops Armor Reborn. The only issue with this card is that you cannot combo or play more battle cards, which most of the time you have like 8 or 9 cards on field, so you're never going to run out of blockers before this guy finishes the game. So there is downsides and upsides to each option. Black Smoke is another option, but since Bulma really doesn't have a lot of ways to put out damage, I prefer a more damaging secret rare than something like Black Smoke or Dragon Balls, because Dragon Balls wipes your field and you don't really want that. Other than that, that's about it. Again, shout out to Toxinator Bob over on Reddit for putting this idea out here. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I might update this in the future. I might add some stuff, take some stuff out. I'll let Bancroft know. We might get another profile out for it.
Sweet. I appreciate it, man. Like always, guys, put it in the comments down below anything you want to see us make or build. Hit that like, subscribe button if you enjoy our content. The community is always growing. We like your guys' feedback. It helps us make better decks as well. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying our content to make your guys' self better decks. Make your all self. I think that's it. I'm getting a little sidetracked now. So, like always, read your cards, know your plays. Jimmy.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Fluff out.